What's up, guys, and welcome back to Book of Entertainment. So there was a key moment at the Senzo meyiwa trial when Advocate Mshololo accused a state witness of manipulating evidence by adding a P23 annotation to a certain number in the document. So the state witness then went on to imply that this number belonged to Kelly Khumalo. So according to Advocate Mshololo, this number it's not even there in Vodacom records.
I remember in your evidence when you were testifying, I'm not sure whether in examination in chief or during cross-examination, you said on the last paragraph, which says after device P23, you are the one who wrote that number.
That's correct.
P23.
That's correct.
So it means this document was editable when you were working on it on the computer before you printed.
That's correct.
Okay.
But I didn't edit anything before. I used the last column.
How can we believe that you did not change any information on this transaction? You only added the P23. You were alone when we were working on this document.
It's not true. I wasn't alone. I did it during consultation with Advocate Baloyi. When we talk about my statement, page 23, then I added to the column.
That is where you started manipulating evidence. You started manipulating evidence. You added your own information here on this transaction, and you included the number of 0733059202 as if it was the number that had called the number belonging to Kelly Khumalo, which is not the correct information according to Vodacom records.
My Lord, I'm under oath. I won't come to court and lie. I can promise you I did it in front while we was busy with consultation.
Again, on page 23, when you were testifying, you referred to this page as the fourth page from the last, but I've decided to number this exhibit so that the court can be able to follow, thank you, to follow the number of the exhibits that we are talking about in exhibit KK4.
So that was Advocate Mshololo, putting down these allegations of manipulation of evidence, So Advocate Mshololo was accusing this witness of manipulation by adding that P23 annotation to a certain number in the document itself. So here Advocate Mshololo was then saying that the witness was implying that this number presented was belonging to Kelly Khumalo, when itself is not even there in the Vodacom records. So obviously the state witness defended himself and said that I added that P23 number to the document in consultation with Advocate Baloyi. So that is the key point there. That P23 number was added when the state witness was consulting Advocate Baloyi. So the witness here is kind of throwing the issue back to Advocate Baloyi. And what is also interesting is that Advocate Baloyi did not object to this statement by this witness, because we all know Advocate Baloyi in such scenarios. When something like this happens, he is quick to rise up, and object and clarify the issues. But here he did not even rise up to explain anything, which then brought a problem to the witness itself. The witness then did not explain why they added that P23. He only gave the part where he said that I only added the P23 during in consultation, with Advocate Baloyi. So this brings a problem to the judge, because the judge is trying to understand why this P23 was added, because the defense advocate is saying that this is manipulation of evidence. So that means the state witness should clarify why they added that P23. So by not explaining, it brings a challenge to the judge. Because the only thing that I heard the witness saying is that I am under oath. I am not going to lie to the court. I can promise you that. Well, promises in stating that you are not lying under oath, it does not help the court at all. What the court wants, is evidence, clarification, not promises. The court does not work with promises. So here, let's try to find the reasons why the state witness added this P23 number, because it's very important to note that himself, the witness, he did not explain why they added the P23. So let's try and find some reasons why he did all of this. So since this state witness was in consultation with Baloyi, they could have been referring to a page or an item, so they simply wrote down the P23. So it could have been like a simple annotation to refer back to a specific page in another document. So this was probably like a specific point within their notes, or statement itself related to the consultation. Another reason is that they could have been like identifying a device, P23 might be shorthand for a specific device involved in the communication. Or maybe it could have been not taken down, during consultation with Baloyi. So this could have been like temporary notes, or reference that wasn't intended as a permanent part of the core data. Or maybe this was for clarification, to try and like explain the information, without adding much to the data itself. So another big one also is that Advocate Mshululu was implying that P23 was referring to a person, specifically Kelly Kumalo. So here Advocate Mshululu, by linking the addition of P23 to the alleged misidentification of a number calling Kelly Kumalo, Advocate Mshululu was strongly suggesting that P23 was a reference point related to Kelly Kumalo. So here the defense advocate, is trying to build a narrative that this witness was using this annotation in a way that falsely connects information to Kelly Kumalo. So the key question is that what should Kelly Kumalo make of this, as an affected person, there are concerns and obviously reactions like maybe distress or anxiety, to hear your name being talked about in that trial. Or there could be like a desire for truth and accuracy. So she might want the court to understand the true and accurate information from her phone, and be concerned, that any manipulation or false conclusions, should not be reached, because they may be like false conclusions, due to those misunderstandings. So she may want to clarify everything. Or she can like rely on her legal team, to understand the implications of these cross examinations, to challenge any misrepresentations, and to ensure her interests are actually protected. So her legal team, can demand a clear explanation from the witness regarding that P23 annotation and the alleged manipulation. So with all of this information, and the lack of clarity over the addition of that P23, what should the judge, make of all of this during this cross-examination in this unexplained annotation? So the lack of a clear explanation for that P23, especially when it is appearing in a key exhibit being scrutinized for accuracy, it could lead the judge to question the witness transparency and the reliability of the exhibit itself. So another thing is that the judge, can even lean with the defense advocate, due to the like persistent accusation of evidence manipulation. If it gains traction, so the judge might see this as a potential indicator that maybe the witness altered the document itself. So this can obviously weaken the chain of custody of that evidence, that was being presented by the witness. But obviously, this is just this part of the trial that we have just watched, and the context might be missing. So the judge may like consider the full context of the testimony, beyond just this part that we've watched, to provide any clues, or if the witness explained this P23 elsewhere. But for this trial that I just watched for this day, the witness did not explain this P23 part. So the witness himself, like, he repeatedly stated that the P23 was added during consultation with Advocate Baloyi, So he is like saying, no, I did not add this alone. Baloyi was actually present. But Baloyi is a state prosecutor, So what is needed is maybe another clarification from Baloyi to say, can you explain why you added this P23? So tell me what you think in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.